Hello everyone, let's go over the solutions to this review. So let's look at the first one. Okay, so we are again asked to write standard intercept and vertex form of the quadratic function given some key points. So in one, I look at what I'm given. I'm given 3 points. However, the second value here is 0, and that is indicating that those 2 points are x-intercepts. So I can actually call the value of 1 p and the value of 7 q. Then this will be my random point, so I'm going to call that x and y. Okay, now since we're given 3 points, we can write it in standard form, but that won't be as efficient as just writing it in intercept form. So, and the reason is just because standard form takes much longer to do. So here's our intercept form, y equals a x minus p x minus q. And then we're going to plug in our y value, which is 23. A is unknown, x value is 4, p is 1, and another x appears, so 4, q is 7. Okay, we plug everything in. We're going to work out the math and solve for a. So I have negative 9a is equal to 23. So a is equal to negative 9 over 23. Oh, I say 9, oops, 23 over 9, negative. Okay, so once I get that a value, I'm going to go ahead and just plug it back in with the p and q, and I'm done. So y equals negative 23 over 9, x minus 1, x minus 7. Okay, 2. If I take a look at 2, it says I want, I have a minimum point and a y-intercept. So minimum of a quadratic is also the vertex. So I could say this is the vertex. Another way they could say that your point is a vertex if they say this is a maximum. So that's going to be my HK value. And this right here, there is a 0, but the 0 is the in the x spot. And so that's just a random xy point. So I'm going to call that xy. And then I'm going to start with my vertex form, which looks like this. So then I'm going to plug everything in and solve for the a value. Okay, so those are our values. This is negative 6 squared, so you're going to get positive 36a. And then you're going to add 75 to both sides. So you get 90. And then you get 36a, and then you divide by 36. So a is equal to 90 over 36. You can reduce that to 5 halves if you want. So then you rewrite your equation. Y equals 5 halves x minus 6 squared minus 75, and that's your equation in vertex form. Okay, 3, they tell you that we have a vertex and an x-intercept. So now that we have both, which route do we take? Do we take the intercept route? Do we take the vertex? Well, you can do both. However, if you're going to go and do the intercept, you need the other value. You can call that the p value, but then you also would need the q value. And it is possible because of symmetry. So here is, let's talk about what if you went and solved for the intercept form instead of the vertex form. Well, you would have done this. You would say, well, over here, if that was 24, there would have been a 24 3 point there. And we know that the vertex is on the axis of symmetry. And if I had a point 11 0 over here, by symmetry, there should be another point over here. And you can use symmetry to figure out that point over there. So it turns out that point over there is 37 0. Okay, so now you do have your p value and your q value, and you then would not call this hk, but you would call that xy if you're going the intercept route. Okay, however, just by doing that, if I didn't find the 37, 0, I would just go ahead and just do the vertex form of the quadratic. So there's hk, and that's xy instead. So I'm going to go that route, writing it in vertex form. So here again is my vertex form equation, and I'm going to plug in my key points. Solve for the a, and then rewrite. Okay, so then 13 negative squared will be positive 169a. And then we have moving the 3 over and then dividing negative 3 divided by 169. And that's what a is. So a is equal to negative 3 over 169. And then we rewrite it in vertex form. Negative 3 over 169, x minus 24 square plus 3. And then don't forget your y equals or your f of x equals. All right. Well, 4, you're giving 3 points, and you are not told any information. And so since there's also no zeros appearing in the second number, I can't assume any of those are x-intercepts. So I'm not going to write it in intercept form. I'm also not told that any of those points are the vertex, so I can't assume they're the vertex, so no hk. So what that means is I'm just going to have to take those equations and create systems of equations and solve for the a, b, and c. Okay, so we're going to approach it like this. We're going to say, well, that first coordinate point, the negative 2, 7, those are x and y. And the standard form looks like this, ax squared plus bx plus c. Well, I'm going to plug those xy's in, and all I'm going to be left with is a, b, and c. So the y is 7. I'm going to go ahead and just square that negative 2 already. So that will be a 4a. And then that would be a 2b, and then plus c. So that's my first equation by plugging in the negative 2, 7. Okay, so then let's plug in the 1, 4. That will be our second equation. So when you plug in the 1, 4, you get a, b, c. And then the third equation is when you plug in the 3, 42. So then 42 is the y value. I got a x squared, so it's 9a, and then b, so 3b, and then c. So those are my three equations. My goal is to work with those, solve for the a, b, and c. Okay, so looking at this, let's start off by combining 1 and 2, because I see that if I made equations 1 a negative, so I'm going to go ahead and just make it negative right now, or multiplying by a negative, changing all the signs, and then adding it to 2, I could eliminate the c. So then the c goes away, and we have negative 3, we have negative 3a, and then we have 3b. Okay, so now that I have this, I'm going to call that equations 4. Now, since they all have 3 in there, I think I could divide everything by 3 just to make my numbers smaller. So that really is just negative a plus b equals negative 1. Okay, so the next thing is let's combine 2 others to eliminate one of the variables. So how about let's do a 2 and a 3. And I'm going to make 2 negative. So I'm going to make that negative, 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 negative. So I'm already multiplying 2 by a negative, and then I'll keep 3 as it is. Because if I add straight down, the c's go away. So now that when I add straight down, I get 38, 8a, 2b, no more c's, and 38, 8, and 2, I can probably divide everything by 2 just to make my numbers smaller, but you can just also keep it. And I'll call it equation 5. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to combine 4 and 5 together to solve for one of my unknown variables. Okay, so there we go. Well, looking at these, I see that if I make one of them negative, multiplying one of them by a negative, say 4, if I multiply 4 by a negative, it will make that positive, positive, negative. And I know that if I add straight down now, I will get no more b's. So the b's get eliminated. Okay, and then I could solve for the a. A ends up being 4. As soon as I get my a value, I'm going to go back and back substitute. I'm going to back substitute to equations 4 and the simplified equation 4 here. So here's equation 4. If I plug a in, I could solve for b. And so b ends up being 3. Okay, so now I got a and b. I'm going to go ahead and back substitute all the way to equations 1, 2, and 3. And so I'll pick equations 2. Okay, so I got the a value, I got the b value, and I'm solving for the c. So c ends up being equal to 3. Okay, now that I got my a, b, and c, I need to write the equations in standard form. So I'm going to say here is my answer. It is y equals a 4x squared plus b 3x plus c 3. And there you go. That is your equation in standard form. Okay, you only do that if you guys have 3 points. And you can see how much work that one requires. So make sure on your tests you guys show all the work. Okay, let's go to page 2. This one. Okay, so page 2 starts you guys off with a sort of an open question, and it just says, well, how are you going to write 3 quadratics so that it will take out all the pigs? And so you guys have to be clever, and just, you don't have to choose the same one that I'm choosing, but we could say, well, I could try the red bird to this one, and then maybe to that one. I could try the red bird to this one, and then maybe that one. So that way it takes out 2, and then I could also do this. I could also do the brown bird. Okay, so I gotta come up with a plan here to make sure I get all the pigs, and I want to write 3. So here is a plan. Maybe I'll go and take that red bird, hit that one, and come down and hit the professor. Right? And I might miss this one. So I might try to take that one out with another one. Okay, so then I could do maybe this one to that one. And then I'll just do this one to this one. That's my plan. So my 3 equations. Okay, so let's do, maybe I should have changed the colors here. Let me make this one that, and I'll just do this one that color. Okay, let's do the red one first. So let's do this intercept. So I look at that and I'm thinking that's a 3, 0. And 20, 21, 22. So that's 22, 0. So I have a P and a Q. And I'm going to make this piggy up here a random point. So that looks like a 10, 10. So that's a 10, 10. Okay, so that's my random XY. I have P and Q. I can get this red line in intercept form. Okay, so that is my plan. I'm going to go and substitute everything in and set the A. Okay, so everything gets substitute in. I got a 7 here. If I subtract that, and I got a 12 here. If I subtract, negative 12 there. If I subtract a 10. Okay, so we're going to do 7 times 12 negative. And then A would have been 10 over negative 84. Okay, so you could reduce that to 542, or you can just leave it as 1084. Okay, so that's my a value, and I have one equation that will work. It will be this red line here. It is the negative 4 over 5 over 42, x minus 3, x minus 22. So that one's done. Let's try the green one here. So if I'm going to approach that, I'm going to make the pig the black bomb bird here, the 0, 5 coordinate in x and y, and I'll make the pig up here my vertex, which is about 5 and 14. And that's HK. So I'm going to approach it with the vertex form. Okay, so plug in my random points. There you go. I'm going to have 25a plus 14 equals 5. And I'm going to solve for the a. So when I solve for the a, I'm going to get that a is negative 925. And then we're going to rewrite it. Y equals negative 9 over 25. X minus 5 squared plus 14. And that will be this one. So that one's done. Okay, this next one, well, I only have 2 points, and I need to just go ahead and do quadratic. So there's a lot of different options that you can do here. Maybe you could find the middle point and just make a random point, a vertex, and make those the other coordinate points. That's possible. You could also just pick a random point somewhere, and you can say, well, let's do a system of equation using those 3. But I'm going to try to avoid that. And then the other option is you can think about shifting your axis upwards to that level so that they are intercepts. Okay, so however you want to think about it, you can do it any way you like. You just need an equation that will actually hit those 2. So for this one, let's see. Let's try using a vertex. So maybe if I'm going to use a vertex, I'm going to go ahead and say that brown one is at 4, negative, up 8. And this other guy is at 15 and up 8. And then the distance between those would be about 9.5. So maybe I need to go 9.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right around there. So that would be about 6.5. Okay, so I'll just say that the axis symmetry is there, and I'll pick a random point, 6.5, comma, and I just need something above here, so I'll just pick like 18 and make that the HK. And if that's the case, then I can just use only one of those points, the brown bird or the Mr. Chef pig here, to finish. Okay, keep in mind this is just one way to analyze and get this problem done. So let's go ahead and do vertex form. And 6.5 was right in between, so I made those I used symmetry to find that axis of symmetry. Okay, so here is our vertex form, and I'm going to go ahead and use the brown bird's coordinate as my xy. And then the HK would just be that 6.5 square plus my random 18. I can make it higher or lower, or above those 2 pigs and birds if I want. So it doesn't have to be 18. It could have been 20, but I think that would be enough. And so I'm going to do negative 4 minus 6.5. I'm going to square that. And so it's a little bit, some decimals here. But that's it. So I got 8 minus 18 divided by 56.25. And my A value is negative 0.177, or I could say negative 8 over 45. Okay, so I decided to go vertex form, and here is an example. So I'm not expecting you guys to have the same answer. You should be solving this one however you see it And so we're going to all have different solutions when we do these problems. Different equations that will work. Okay, so that's it. There's my 3 functions. Okay, let's, is there more on that page? Oh yeah, there is. Okay, so then let's do the next few, which is just word problems now. And let's read it. So let's figure out what key information we have. So Max hits a ball off a tee that is 3 feet high. So I always think about it as being on the coordinate plane, and there's my 3 feet high. The ball reaches a maximum height of 20, so up, 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 up it goes, and its highest peak is 20. So 20 is the y value when it's 15 away. Okay, so in this situation, they give us a word problem, but it really is just saying, here's your HK, and here's your XY. Give me the vertex form. That's essentially what they're asking you to do. Okay, so here's our vertex form. Plug in your key information. And solve for the A. Okay, so then 3 minus 20 gives me negative 17. And A ends up being negative 17 over 225. Then I rewrite the equation and I'm done. Y equals negative 17 over 225, x minus 15 squared plus 20. Okay, 7. Different situation, so let's see. So in 7, we have the grasshopper is standing at 35 yards, so it's right there on the ground level. So I can actually say 35 comma 0. And then he jumps and lands on the 38, so 38 comma 0. And there was a point in time at the 36 yard that he was 8 inches high. So that's a random XY. I have my P, Q. We're going to approach this with intercept form. Okay, plug in our P and Q and XY values in. And solve for A. Okay, so A equals negative 4, and then we rewrite it, and we're done. Okay. All right, onwards. Last page. A system of equations. So this will be sort of like the one we did in 4. Okay, so whenever I do system equations, I need to stay organized. So I need a number, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so once I get the number, I'm going to look at, well, which 2 should I start with? And so I'm trying to pick whatever's easiest. I could try 1 and 2. And I'm going to go ahead and multiply 1 by negative 2. So if I multiply it by negative 2, I would have gotten positive 4x, negative 2y, negative 12z, and negative 2. And the reason I wanted to do that is because if I put equations 2 right below it, I see that I could possibly get rid of the y's if I multiplied 1 by negative 2. Okay, so the y's are gone now. Okay, and I got this equation. There's 7's there, so I'm going to reduce everything by 7. And that's equation 4. Okay, then I need to decide on 2 other equations. So how about I decide on 1 and 3. And I'm already going to change 1 into by multiplying by negative 3. So I'm going to multiply 1 by negative 3. And this is what I get. Then when I write 3 down, I see that the y's will disappear. Okay, so the y's disappear. 13x, oh, this was an x, and then 22z and 8. I'll call that equation 5. Okay, I was double checking. 6 plus 7, 13. 18 and 4. It is 22, and then that is 11 minus 3, so that's 8. Okay, so far it looks like it's okay. All right, so now I'm going to combine those, and I'm going to eliminate one more variable. Okay, so looking at this, how about I just multiply equations 4 by 13 negative. Okay, so equation 4 now becomes negative 13x, positive 13z, and 13 and 2 makes 26. Oh, and negative. Okay, now I'm going to add equations 4 and equations 5, but I won't have any x's anymore. And I will have negative 9z. And then I have negative 18. So z must be 2. Okay, so once I get that z, I'm going to back step to 2. Oh, there's a nice equation 4 I can plug that into. Well, then that means that x is 4. Okay, now I'm going to back step to all the way to equations 1 and plug the x in. And the only thing that's unknown is z. All right, so then I'm going to solve for the y, and then we've been done. Okay, so we're going to write it as 4, negative 3, 2. Hopefully those are the right x, y, and z. Okay, hopefully this helps you guys out with your review and preparing for the test tomorrow. Good luck.